Okay, so as long as I'm catching up on things I've been promising for a while, now is probably the best time for me to explain why I hate Superman 2. And while we're doing it, let's unbox these because they've been sitting around for a while. And I figure once I unbox them, it'll force me to build the shelf that I bought over a week and a half ago to put things up because I'm out of room. I mean, I've got stuff everywhere. They're sitting on my computer, they're sitting on desks, they're everywhere. And every time I turn around, I literally knock a Funko Pop over. It's not funny anymore. Okay, so when everyone asks me why I hated Superman 2, my short answer would always be because Superman would not have a fight in a populated area. So, see, it's not just restricted to Snyder. I hated that about Superman 2 as well. But not to be disingenuous about this, when we want to see superhero fights and we want to see someone get hit with a truck or punched through a building, but the hero should always make an effort to take the fight elsewhere. It's the villain that keeps it in the city. And of course, because it's a superhero movie, no one dies. Zack Snyder might have a different career if when asked, well, who died in Superman and Man of Steel? He said nobody because it's a comic book. He might still be making these movies today, but he had to go all edge lord. Now, of course, the longer version of why I don't like Superman 2, because it just seems so silly to me, so ridiculous. Whereas the first one seemed very, not well, sort of grounded and it's straightforward drama. The second was just ridiculous. It was just utter silliness, and it made no sense, and just a lot of dumb things happened. It seemed to be made for like an 8-year old, and then the awareness hit me of what it was and why I should have known. I mean, I've held this grudge since the '80s, and the realization only hit me now, and I feel like an idiot. And it's the irony; it's painful. Superman 2 is a Silver Age comic. Now, some of you may be going, "Well, duh." See, no, not me. It only hit me now. It's a Silver Age comic, and it's not an adaptation of a Silver Age comic. It's as if they took a Silver Age comic and just transferred it directly to the screen and didn't do anything to change it, to make it more modern, to ground it more. No, just straight from the comic to the movie. And this is Donner's version too. In fact, Donner's version may even be more so because in the first 5 minutes of Donner's version of Superman 2, Lois Lane jumps out a window to prove that Clark is Superman. Yeah, all of it. All the see because the Silver Age comic, it would just be silly. They would only think about the issue they're putting out right now and not what came before. Continuity was only an issue when they wanted to. If they didn't want to, they didn't think about it. And even when you bring in something like Superman 4: The Quest for Peace, and where he like had Masonry Vision. Have you read a Silver Age comic? Superman would come up with new powers all the time. It's a Silver Age comic. Every single thing, every single silly thing about it is a Silver Age comic. Because when I was a kid, I was watching it because, again, Superman the movie kind of took it seriously, and but here it's like when you see Zod and the other criminals get out. By the way, it was originally supposed to be the missile that Superman stops from hitting in Superman the movie that you never really it goes off into space and it hits the Phantom Zone and shatters it. That's it. Lois was not supposed to die or anything. That was it. He just takes a missile, throws up. He just stops the missiles and that's it. But they changed it, and you can see what they did, and that was it. But they're Zod and the Phantom Zone criminals are from the poster, the lackluster original poster, by the way, and they're talking in space, and there's wind on their costumes in space. They're talking on the moon. All of this, Silver Age silliness, total Silver Age silliness. Everything he does, Silver Age silliness, and it just why didn't I see it? Because I expected it to be more like a Superman the movie, and comics at that time weren't that silly anymore. They really weren't. The Bronze Age was not as silly as the Silver Age. So again, a little self-serious, geek boy. I couldn't stand that. How dare they be so silly? How dare they be so ridiculous with Superman? So yeah, and I hated that. I hated. Oh, that is pretty. Look at that. Look at how pretty that is. That is perfect. That is freaking perfect. I really do have to put that shelf up now.
You think I'm Superman. Willing to bet my life on it.
Lois, you know, you are priceless. Really. I mean, that is the single most ridiculous thing I've ever... Lois, what are you doing?
You wouldn't let me die, Superman.
Help her out!
Clark!
Lois, what have you done?
Clark, you're not...
And again, Donner's version, no better. Though when you listen to the commentary, he and the actual writer Tom Mankiewicz, who gets a credit as script consultant for both of them, but he did the screenplay for both of them. But there were just already too many writers for him to get proper credit. They're talking about it, and he thinks, though he actually says he meant for Superman 2 to be the fun one. That's why it opens the way it does. He meant for it to be the fun one. That's why, and he actually mentions the Superman comics when he was a kid, which would have been probably the Silver Age at that point. And but yeah, it's no better. And even though he tries not to put down Richard Lester, he does regularly. He's like, I might have made a different decision had I come back, had I been allowed back. I mean, at one point they asked him, um, "Do you want to have your name on it as well?" And he saw a few minutes of it, like, "Nah, I'm good." So yeah, it's like there's the differences are you can there's a great video on YouTube. Put a I'll put a link below that you can watch to see a lot of the differences in it. But yeah, it's Lester Jordan also has a stupid I'm gonna get Clark to reveal a secret moment, at Niagara Falls as well, as you know. A lot of that honeymoon stuff isn't there. Um, it doesn't have any of the stuff in France. Again, that's straight off a Silver Age comic. Go over there, stop a hydrogen bomb, very in vogue in the 50s. Lois is in Paris. Hydrogen bomb. Superman goes up, throws into space, goes into space, causes a rift, opens up the Phantom Zone. Straight out of a Silver Age comic. That would have happened. I'm serious. It's blowing my mind. I didn't realize this all this time. Again, so pretty. We're going to leave this here because we're going to talk about this a little bit more. Yeah, Donna is under the impression that his is a much more serious Superman movie, even though it's pretty much the same in its utter silliness. Some of the fight scenes are different. The fight scene in the city is different, which again, still my major concern. Superman does not, he just lands and waits for them to start a fight. No, he tries to leave. Zod makes him stay. Then they have a fight. But him just just waiting in the city to start this fight is just stupid. Also, Richard Lester actually has a better line. When Superman shows up, he lands on the flagpole and says, "General, would you like to step outside?" And Donna's version is like, "Don't you believe in freedom of the press?" No. And the thing is, and Donner had to use a lot of had to use some of what Richard Lester shot because it was what was written. He was going to do anyway. Though he says, "I might have done it different." He says that a lot. Again, he's putting him down every time he says it, but he's not really putting him down. The thing is, for Richard Lester to get credit, he had to reshoot a whole bunch of stuff, and but Gene Hackman didn't come back. Valerie Perrine, Ned Beatty, no, never met him till they did Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. That's when Gene Hackman met him for the first time. He did not come back for any of the reshoots. If you want to know what was reshot, look at the bad wig on Margot Kidder or the longer hair on Terrence Stamp as Zod. If Donner shot it, his hair is short. If Lester shot it, it's longer. Yeah, and also Jeffrey Unsworth was the director of photography for Richard Donner, and it looks a lot better. I think the film is much more, it's cooler, whereas Lester, it's warmer tones. But yeah, and it's just as dumb. Little differences when Superman and Lois go to the fortress. They have sex before he loses his powers, and in the big mylar hammock, and he goes down to talk to, and it's Marlon Brando. It's not Susanna York, and the reason they didn't have Marlon Brando in the Lester version, the theatrical version, is because they would have had to pay him. That's it. They would have had to have paid him. And his deal would mean if he was in the second one, he still got paid. They're like, forget that, and they reshot it all with Susanna York. Yeah, really bad. And but there's a really funny moment where he goes and it's like he's talking to him again. Silver Age silliness and stupid. I want to be a human. Well, you have to give her your powers forever. Your powers are based in science. It's not something. It's not a something. It's not like being a prince. I want to marry a commoner, so you can't be prince anymore. Where does this come from? Where does this come from? Again, Silver Age silliness. It didn't exist until it was needed for that story in that particular issue, even if it contradicted another story 2 issues before. So that's very typical. It enraged me again. The too serious little geek boy I was. It enraged me. But again, as a Silver Age comic, that fits perfect. You have to give up your powers forever. And but in the Donner version, again, it's Brando, and while he's puts him in the little device to take away his powers, he looks up at Lois and he's like, "You made this happen." And Lois is like, like right after a night, she's wearing her boyfriend's shirt as pajamas. She's wearing the top of his, his costume. But that's a funny moment. And then it goes down, gets beaten up by the guy in the diner. Remember that when I come back to it. And then he sees Zod on TV, comes back. Now, in the Donner version, he picks up the green crystal and he finds the green crystal and like in the wreckage of in the wreckage of all this, and he puts it back in there. And then his father pops at the same time. I knew this would happen. I told you it was a mistake, but now when I do this, it's going to drain all that I am, and you'll never see me again. And again, none of this makes sense because this is a computer program. We know it's a computer program because in both versions, Luthor finds the fortress and and the program talks to him like he's Superman. It's a program. It's not Jor-El. And the way they're inconsistent about this, Silver Age, total Silver Age. And he's like, once I do this, it'll give you your powers back, but we will never speak again. And remember that because that's going to come back again. And this is how he gets his powers back. Whereas in the Lester version, you just see him pick up the green crystal, and next time you see him, he's Superman again. You don't know what it did to give him his powers back. So yeah, again, the fight's a bit different in the city. Uh, um, Donner uses some of it in his version because again, he was going to shoot it anyway, but he didn't get a chance to. But he got fired by the Salkins, who are scum. They're such scum that when they did the Three Musketeers, Three and Four Musketeers, that Richard Lester directed, by the way, they paid the actors for one film and released two movies. So needless to say, they got sued. So same thing. Go back to the fortress. Now again, in the Lester version, you see like him peel off the decal off his shirt, and it wraps up like non Silver Age stuff coming out of nowhere. And the different version of Superman. Of course, I didn't think that was a power. That's of course the fortress making holograms. And again, said it before, I'll say it again. If you think Superman killed the three of them in the fortress when they fell, why don't you tell me what you saw in Superman the movie and Superman 2 up until that point that makes you think he would crack a joke and kill a man? Because if you can't, then that's just you. And again, Donner shot footage that showed the criminals alive and well being taken into custody. So again, it's you. So yeah. So yeah, Superman 2. I'm thinking maybe I literally have not watched either the Lester version in its entirety or the Donner version in its entirety since. But I'm wondering, should I watch them again with this new awareness? Like I'm like when I read a Silver Age comic, I don't get mad at it for not being like a modern day comic. I know I'm going in watching Silver Age comic. I know it's gonna be silly. I know it's not gonna make sense, and I have fun with it. But again, I was a little self-serious geek, and I couldn't see that. I was also wasn't that versed. I wasn't that well versed in Silver Age at that point, so I couldn't see what it was. Still think it's wrong because again, you did the first film straight. Why are you doing this now? It's gonna be the fun one. You can be the fun one without just being stupid. Because a lot of it is just stupid. Sorry, Silver Age. Oh, I. It's hard. It's Silver Age stuff is stupid through a modern lens, but it's not through that lens. I've got to remember, look at it through that lens. So, see, that's why I know I can't watch it again now. I'm still too angry. I still get angry. just having to rewatch some of it now to do this, I'm still getting angry about it because it just wasted so much of everyone's talent to do that silly movie. Yeah, but that's why I hate Superman 2, because my dumb ass did not realize all they did was translate a Silver Age comic directly to the screen. Do not pass go, do not get $200. They just, no. Silver Age screen, Silver Age screen. We're not going to do anything to make it, you know, more mature or smarter. Mm-mm. Okay, I guess I got to build me a shelf now. I'll put it up anyway. I'm going to watch a YouTube video. Come with me, Kello. Okay, I put everything away and I forgot to talk about the ending. Got to do this quickly because this light is heavy. Anyway, Lester's version of Superman 2, as we all know, ends with a famous forget me kiss. Again, Silver Age, that's fine. Big light heavy. It ends with the kiss, and that's fine. Lester's problem were all the damn jokes. The non-stop bad, stupid jokes, like in The City when the people want to fight the Phantom Zone criminals, and they just blow them away. The guy on the phone, and he's still go. That crap. See, this didn't start with Gunn. I can't stand that for anybody. Donner was not much better. There's a scene in his version where Lex is at the fortress and he's, learned something from the Jor-El computer. Then there's a moment of silence and then a toilet flushing. Yeah, it's not the masterpiece both he and a lot of you think it is. But anyway, the ending of Superman 2 from Donner was that he goes back in time and makes the criminals never show up at all. Yeah, that was always supposed to be the ending of Superman 2. In Superman 1, Superman the movie, he was just supposed to stop the missiles, and that's it. Lois doesn't die, none of that happens. But scheduling problems made them change it, so they did that, and you got that dramatic death of Lois and him changing time. It works there, it's good. But in Donner's version, he still goes back to the diner to push that guy around. Why? It didn't happen. He remembers it, obviously, but it didn't really happen. So what are you doing? It would make more sense if he went to the diner and saw him about to pick on someone else and stop it. But for Superman to what? Revenge? No. But even though Donner says you have to be careful because he's Superman now and he just can't go around beating people up. But he can just, push him around a little bit. Yeah. Again, Donner's version is not as good as some of you seem to think it is. So yeah, that's it. Now we're done. Big light heavy, seriously.